Happy Feel Good Friday, Colts Nation. Hope you're doing great today. Hope the rest of your day is great. What we're going to do here today is just go over the final injury report for both teams and see what are the final designations. A lot of the things we talked about this week of how it's probably going to go is pretty much how it went. Kenny Pickett, we knew was going to be out. Jonathan Taylor, we knew was probably going to be out. And Braden Smith, we had talked about more than likely not going to play. But as we sit here and we go down the rest of this injury report with the Steelers, Najee Harris, good to go. Damani KZ, good to go. James Pierre, good to go. Landon Roberts, good to go. Okay, all these guys were full participants in practice, no injury designation. Keanu Benton, Cam Hayward, Deontay Johnson, all good to go. Those last couple names, Cam Hayward, Deontay Johnson, we were keeping an eye on those ones, but turns out they're going to be just fine. They're going to be in the game. TJ Watt, we had already talked about getting out of concussion protocol. The two we were really looking at for the Steelers were Alex Highsmith and Isaac Seumalo. And Alex Highsmith also was able to get out of the concussion protocol. We kind of talked about that and how that was probably going to happen. The Steelers played a Thursday game. Now they're playing a Saturday game. With that extra couple of days there, they were able to get some guys out of the concussion protocol that are going to be good to go. And TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith are going to be a problem, man. Right? Bernard Raymond and Blake Freeland do just fine. Bernard Raymond's done really well in his second year, but both of these guys struggle with speed rushers, and so these guys present a problem. I don't know how we're going to fix that, right? Mo Alley-Cox, Drew Ogletree as run blockers. That seems like to be the solution. You need these guys to be in there helping your tackles block these guys. We cannot let these guys ruin the game, specifically TJ Watt. Alex Highsmith can do a number, but TJ Watt's the guy we need to focus on. He's going to be going against Blake Freeland for much of this game. We're going to need to help the kid out, okay? Because if there's anything that could ruin this game for us, it's the edge rushers for the Steelers. That's really the only thing in this game that we need to make sure is locked up, is just making sure TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith do not destroy this game. Okay, we saw Myles Garrett do it. We saw last week the protection just wasn't what it should have been against Hendrickson and Hubbard, and it ended up costing us. So we need to make sure that's tightened up this week. And I honestly wish I had more faith that was going to be able to happen. But as we continue here, Isaac Seumalo, he's questionable going into the game. He did not practice at all last week. Ended up playing. He did not practice at all this week, and right now he's questionable. Could play. I expect him to play, to be completely honest, but he's designated as questionable going into the game on Saturday. Okay, but then you come look at the Colts. We already talked about Braden Smith and Jonathan Taylor. Both of them are out. And this will mark Jonathan Taylor's third game that he's missing, which is going to put him in the window of where he should probably be looking to come back. Next week, I would expect him to start practicing again, possibly playing. I don't know if he's going to play right away. They might want, to see what he looks like in practice, get his conditioning back up a little bit, and then get him out there. But we'll see what happens next week. He is not playing this week. Okay, but then as expected, Jalen Jones, full participant in practice again, and he played. And just like we talked about, just like last week, DeForest Buckner ends up being a full participant in the walkthrough, limited participant on Thursday last week, but it was Wednesday this week. And then Friday last week, Thursday this week, he ends up not practicing, but he doesn't carry a designation. They're just letting the big fella heal up, let him rest up, do what he needs to do. So DeForest Buckner, going to be good to go. Will Mallory, good to go with the rib injury. Zaire Franklin, good to go with the illness. And Segan Alubi pops up with a questionable designation here with the hip injury. Was a limited participant Wednesday, did not practice on Thursday. So we might be without Segan Alubi, which is going to be a hit to the special teams. But that's also going to mean that we're going to see a lot of Ronnie Harrison playing the same position that we saw Shaq playing. And Ronnie Harrison, in a couple of games he's played with us, he has a couple of turnovers. He has a touchdown. So, it's not the worst thing, right? Having a safety play linebacker. I like it. He's done good so far. Just need to make sure he can tackle, right? Got to be able to tackle in the run game. That's really the only thing you're looking for with a converted safety. But I still feel pretty good about Ronnie Harrison being in that position. Thought he should have been on the team all along. If you were hanging with us in the preseason, Ronnie Harrison's somebody that I thought should have made the team coming out of the preseason. Okay, but then the last couple guys you didn't hear me mention, Juju Brents, full participant in practice all week. He will play on Saturday. We are finally getting the young man back in the game, the Hoosier native, finally getting back in the lineup. left in the game in week 7 against the Browns. He's finally making his return a couple months later. And then EJ Speed, who missed the game last week with the knee injury, full participant all week in practice. He's good to go. So the defense getting a couple of key pieces back, especially coming into the home stretch, man. Having these guys coming back, getting healthy, that's exactly what we need as we look to try to make a playoff push. And we're going to need these guys this week, right? This is the Steelers, man. We can't take the Steelers lightly, no matter how it's looked. Okay. The Raiders just put up 63 points 4 days after getting shut out by the Vikings. Okay, anything is possible in the NFL. From week to week, anything can happen. We can't take Pittsburgh lightly. Having these guys back in the lineup is going to be huge for us, right? From Juju's standpoint, we can rely on him more than we can DJ Baker. That's just the way it is, right? Jalen Jones been holding it down, so having somebody on the opposite side is going to be great. Juju coming back, so happy he's going to be back on the field. We should be able to get some coverage sacks because he's back on the field, right? And then when you talk about EJ Speed coming back, with EJ coming back, we're better in the run game, and he's a very athletic linebacker. He's good in coverage. So having him there to be able to kind of do everything from the position we're asking him to play, it's going to be very helpful for us. Need him to stop Najee Harris, need him to stop Jalen Warren, right? Specifically Najee Harris, right? Najee Harris, big bruising back. We know Zaire Franklin's going to get his, but we saw what EJ Speed was able to do against Derrick Henry, popping him a couple times. So we're going to need some more of that energy coming into this game, stopping Najee Harris, and we got to contain Jalen Warren. That's one of the keys to this game, is stopping Jalen Warren. Okay, if you want to know what the other keys to victory are, go ahead and watch the pregame video from yesterday, and make sure you subscribe with notifications on so that you get notified when any more videos come out. We have daily content here on this channel. So again, make sure you're subscribed with those notifications on. And as always, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and go Colts.